Hello everyone, how are you doing? It is Makarsa from Computer Science, and then I'm going to tell you or talk you about the emerging technology areas, or this course is focused on the emerging technology. Actually, this emerging technology is a course which is newly added to the university courses, and then the concept or the idea of this emerging technology or this course is to talk about the technologies which are already emerged and then ongoing, and then in the future which will be getting some additional knowledge or new technologies in our life. And then actually this course is containing about 7 main chapters. The first chapter is about the introduction of emerging technology. The second chapter is about the data science. The third chapter is focused on about the artificial intelligence. Then the fourth chapter is talking about the Internet of Things or IoT. Then the fifth chapter is about the augmented reality. The sixth chapter is on the additional or other emerging technology terminologies or concepts. And then the final last one is talking about the ethics and the professionalism in emerging technology. Then as much as possible, we will deal all of these chapters and then ideas step by step. Then today I'm going to start about the first chapter, which is about the emerging technology introduction. Then this chapter or the first chapter is specially focused on the definition of this emerging technology, then evolution of emerging technology, role of data in emerging technology, and then some devices which needs to be enabled, and then great networking, and then finally about the computer and the machine interaction or human computer interactions will be the points which we are going to see. Okay, well, and then the first point I'm going to tell you is about the definition of this emerging technology. Actually, this emerging technology is a technology which is used to describe as a new technology or the newly created technology. But when we are saying this new emerging technology or the new technology, it is also referring about the continuous development of the existing technology. That means what? The technology already started or existed, and then adding some additional technologies on the existing technology. So that means what? We can have slightly different meaning when we are using different areas. That means what? The definition of this emerging technology might be differ based on different disciplines or different departments like that. For example, when we are defining the definition of this newly emerging technologies in some media or in business areas or disciplines, in sciences like computer science or engineering, in education or in other areas. So we can give different definitions, whatever it is, but the terminology of this emerging technology is what used to talk about the technology which is newly created and then also applied or implemented on the existing technologies with the additional development of this technology. So this technology, especially to talk about this technology, it is better to talk about the technological evolutions. That means what? The technological evolution is what about the theory of radical change or radical transformation of the society via the technological development. So when we are saying evolution, it is what? Generally, it is change, something transferred from one level of life into another level of this life. So the society's change or radical development of or transformation of this society is talking by investigating or implementing this technology, which is called as the technological evolution. However, when we are talking about this technology, actually this technology is the application of scientific knowledge to the practical aims of human life, or it is the change and the manipulation of the human environment. Technology means what? Implementing or applying some scientific skills or knowledge to do what? To do the practical aims of human life. Because there is a purpose for human life, and then practically implementing the scientific knowledge to address the desired lifestyle of the human. That means what? In another way, it is a change and then manipulation of human environment. So if there is a technology, there is what? There is a change implementing that technology, and then change to implement this technology means what? The human life or the life of the society will be changed. So the addition of this technology is changing the life of the human being or the society. Okay, so the technology is what? The result of collection of the knowledge or accumulated knowledge and the application of skills. That means what? The knowledge will be applicable, and then using different methods, different processes used in industrial production and then scientific researches. So this technology is the result of the accumulated knowledge or the group of the knowledge, and then applying or creating some knowledge on the given received or existing knowledge by using different methods, by passing different processes, especially in industrial production. Then scientific researches will define or talk about the technology. So this is the term which is very clear about the definition of this technology. But when we come to the evolution is something process by which the physical characteristics of types of creature changes over the time. That means what? In some other else we have idea about this concept or this evolution. Actually, this evolution is a process which came from previous leading idea or concept or lifestyle, and then physically it is about what? The characteristics, types of creatures which is change over the time. So this evolution changes from time to time, and then change the life of the society from one level of style into the other lifestyles. Then when we are talking about the evolution and then the technology terminologies, it is better to define or understand about the industrial revolutions in different stages or level of life of styles. There are different stages or passes in the human life, and then the previous people are defining this industrial revolution, and then this industrial revolution contains about especially the industrialization and then innovation. This industrialization and innovation in industrial revolution was started especially in late 1700s or 1700s and then early 1800s. That means what? Or around the end of the 1700s and then at the early starting areas of the 1800s in England or Great Britain. The purpose of this creation or industrial revolution is to make the labor more efficient and then productive. That means what? When the group of people or the society is working their jobs, then it is very difficult for the life. That means what? Individually when they are working. And then this industrial revolution is becoming about minimizing the power of the people, and then even their labor will be what? Efficient and then productive. That means what? There is no loss of the work or loss of power, loss of the energy. Then that is why it is called as the Industrial Revolution. So this Industrial Revolution, which started in Great Britain, is called as the First Industrial Revolution. So the First Industrial Revolution is about the shifting the society from using tools to make products, especially to use a new source of energy. About, for example, using charcoals to power machines in especially factories. That means they are using some water and then steam powers to energize or to increase their work and then facilitate their work is easily. And then after that, the Americans received this industrial revolution, especially from this concept of England, and then called their industrial revolution as the second industrial revolution. So in the second industrial revolution held in America, especially in 1820 to 1870s, for 50 years. So especially the purpose of this second industrial revolution is to produce their products, especially in a group, because instead of performing or working personally or one by one, they use mass production and then simplify their works for their purpose or for their lifestyle to be changed on them. Therefore, from Americans and then in other group of peoples or peoples which are living in the world uses the third industrial revolution, because in the third industrial revolution it is about using or adoption of the computers and then automation, and enhance it especially with smart and autonomous systems fueled by data and then machine learning. That means what? It is about using the computer and then automating their works by feeding or adding some data, and then based on the data, the machine or the computer they are using will implement and then display the results. Especially they were trying to use the concept of machine learning. That means training their machine or devices by giving data or raw materials, and then based on the raw material or the code they are feeding into the computer, then the machine learns and then implement and then work. That means what? Instead of doing by human labor, it is better to change their life of style of work into machine or automated form. So especially in the industrial revolution, the fundamental changes and then transformation were occurred around the world. These changes or the changing the society into the modern lifestyle, or the things which change this society into the modern life of style are, for example, like steam engine, age of science and then mass production, especially in the second industrial revolution, rise of digital technology in the third industrial revolution. So smart and then autonomous system fueled by the data and the machine learning. These all are the basic and then the modern style of the society's life to change their life into the updated or the better lifestyle. we can, and therefore we can generalize or summarize the industrial revolutions in these ways. That means what? In industries such as the textile manufacturing, mining of something, glass making, and then the agriculture, all had undergone the changes. That means what? There is a change of life, and then by getting these raw materials, and then the society changed their life. Especially in the industrial revolution, there are about classifications of these industrial revolutions, which are classified into four major parts. The first one is first industrial revolution. In the first industrial revolution, there is a mechanization through water and then steam power. That means life of the society is changed by having or using the steam power and then water power. And then in the second industrial revolution, there is a mass production, and then assembly lines using electricity. So creating something in group and then using the electricity to simplify their work of their life. And then in the third industrial revolution, there is adoption of computers and automation. That means what? Giving, using or trying to change this their life of style by using the computer or in automation or automatical method of way of life. And then in the fourth industrial revolution, actually, which is ongoing nowadays, which is about using the smart and then autonomous systems fueled by the data and machine learning. Actually, this fourth industrial revolution is connected with the third industrial revolution, and then some little bit difference or modification of this industrial revolution. Okay, well, now we will see about the most important innovations of industrial revolution. It's actually, in industrial revolution, we can see the most important things in the life of the society, because we are talking about the way of producing materials or products. Then even if they are producing their materials or products, then how they can use and then where the societies are using this type of products will be the question. So in that case, the most important thing is or innovation or inventions of the industrial revolution should be identified. Especially in this way, we will see about the 3 points of these important inventions of this industrial revolution. First one is the transportation. The transportation is the steam engine, the railroad, the diesel engine, airplanes, and then so on. Because even if they are producing their products, let's say, for example, if somebody has or some group creates one factory and then produce something, for example, textile factory or sugar factory or whatever, or mining of something, and then if they produce some products, how they can tell to the others or how they can give for the others, or how the needs of this product or people who want to use this product can get this product will be the concept of this transportation. If there is no transportation, the production of the society will be what? Only used locally or at around the same area. They cannot sell, they cannot give for the others which are around far from them. So that is a problem. So that is why transportation is a very important in the industrial revolution, because these are the basic points which are invented in the production of this industrial revolution. So after they produce their materials or products, they thought that who is the user, and then how can we transport or move this type of products to somewhere, other location or in other areas is the point. And then the other one is the communication. Again, this communication is what? The way of announcing or the way of telling to somebody or to somewhere who are found are not the near their product. Because for example, nowadays you know that if you want to announce something, we can use different medias, social medias like Facebook or television or radio or whatever, because it is simple to announce or to notify some others who are found far away from our location. So this communication or the way of using entertainment will be the best thing for the people to share or to exchange idea with one another. Then the third one is about the industry. Actually, this industry is a product. So if there is industry, there is a product. If there is a product, and then there should be a communication and then the transportation by which these all the produced materials or things will be changed or will be moved from one location to another location by transportation, by their way of communication for some other people who need this type of the product. The other thing is about the historical background of the industrial revolutions. This industrial revolution history or historical background is about telling or talking about the industries which we not nowadays, and then especially in the history of industrial revolution, we can talk about the industrial revolution number 1, industrial revolution number 2, industrial revolution number 3, and then industrial revolution in this all of the name of industries can be grouped or typed as 4 industries in industrial revolution background. The first is the primary industry. In the primary industry or in the first industry, it is about getting some raw materials. In the primary primary industry means what? It is about getting some new products. That means what? After we get the raw material or new product, we can proceed to something else to implement this type of raw materials, like for example mining, farming, fishing, whatever. That is what the raw material which are not inserted or changed into manufacturing or into the products. And then after we get this industrial revolution, in industrial revolution, after we get the primary industry, these materials, and then we are changing this type of things into product. That means what? It is about manufacturing, making something or producing something. This is the secondary industry. This secondary industry is about receiving the raw materials which are which we have get from the primary industry, and then changing or converting into manufacturing. This manufacturing, for example, in the raw materials or raw data, we have, for example, received some part of the materials, for example, metal from mining, and then after that we can create what? These metals into different shapes, for example, making the car or some steel, and then we can make the body of the cars from the primary industry. And then after we have manufactured these raw materials as a secondary industry, and then the tertiary industry will be created. This tertiary industry provide about the service or about nursing. That means what? It is for serving somebody. For example, if we make the car from different metals and then different materials, and then after that the car's work is what? Serving us. And then for teaching purpose also, we can use, for example, this type of laptop which we are using, or any type of materials are what? Used for teaching purpose, and then for serving some other or nursing some other people. So this is called the tertiary industry. And then the last one is the quaternary industry. This quaternary industry especially involves about the research and then the development of the industries. Most of the time, um, this is used for the research purpose, for further delegation of the or the development of the industries. That means modification and then updation of these previously created materials in the secondary industry, and then service, give service in the third uh, industry or tertiary industry. And then in addition to that, it can perform or work for the research purposes in considering as the quaternary industry. So, for example, you can see these materials about especially the devices which will be connected to the one another. That means what the industry contains different materials about the connection of different devices or materials, as we see from okay, well, so this is about the revision or additional concept about the industrial revolutions, which is industrial revolution number one, industrial revolution number two, number three, IR, like that. And then actually in the industrial revolution number one, it is about transition to new manufacturing process. That means what? About the from hand production method to the machine. That means what? Feeding the work of the human into the machine instead of performing by hand or by uh, need of high labors. It is better to change the life of the society. So that is why, for example, by using steam power or water power, these are the way of increasing the way of life. And then in the second industrial revolution, the second industrial revolution is about uh, using or including the development of the method for manufacturing interchangeable parts. That means what? It is about using the other pre-existing parts especially. That means what? There is a parts or something technology which is existed before and then implementing some additional technologies in the industrial revolution or the second or in the second industrial revolution, especially when we are using this industrial revolution number one, sorry, number two. It is about using what? Using the electrical powers and then telephones. That means what? The communication of the people will be what? Telephone. Tele means what? Far, and then phone communication. Then they are communicating with one another who are found in different location or different areas or in tele areas, and then changing this life into the second industrial revolution. And then in the third industrial revolution, or industrial revolution number 3, is about the transition of people from the mechanical and analog electrical electronic technology to the digital electronics. That means what? Especially the name of this industrial revolution 3, or the third industrial revolution, is about called in another way, another name, as the digital revolution. That means what? The life of the society is changed into the digital from using the mechanical and analog electronic technology. So especially this point is what? The core factor of this revolution is what? It is about the mass production and the widespread of the digital logic circuits. So the mass production of the society is implemented in this. Okay, well, fine. And then the fourth industrial revolution, or IR4, is about the technologies such as using robotics, Internet of Things, additive manufacturing, and automatic vehicles. That means what? Especially in the fourth industrial revolution is called as the cyber physical systems. This cyber physical system is a mechanism that is controlled or monitored by what? Computer-based algorithms. This algorithm is given or fed to the computer, and then based on the given algorithms, then the computer will be what? Implement or change this algorithm into the product or implementation. That is what it is about, the machine learning, and then teaching the machine and then getting some result based on the machine information. The other point is about the role of data for the emerging technologies. What is the role of data? Actually, in when we are talking about the computer or whatever, the data is the source of all. Actually, we can get data from different sources, like from reading, from listening, from watching, and then this all are the data. Without data, we cannot talk about something result or something output, because the data is the root for the other products or the starting point for our talk. So data is what it says that they're regarded as a new oil and then strategic asset. That means what? Since we are living in the age of big data, actually we will see this one in the second chapter. Then this big data is a large data. Since we are living, and then the way we are using data is becoming complex and then increasing. That is big data, and then the data can determine the futurity of the science, the technology, and then the economy of the people. So this world will be matter, or will be some question or problem by next year, or by today, or by tomorrow, or anytime, because since the user of this data are becoming increasing, then the amount of data is becoming also what? Complex, and then very huge, and then complex. So that is why the data which we are using today matters for the future of our life, especially in the use of the science, in the use of the technology, and then even in the use of the economy of one's country, or as a whole, the world. So that is why always when we are using this data, the usage of this data will be somewhat enormous challenges, or it might be in bring some incredible innovation and then economic opportunities. That means what? There is a probability of positive or advantage, and then also disadvantage of this using data will be implemented in our world. The other point is about the enabling devices and networks, especially when we are using or living in this world. Then the digital electronic systems are the basic kind of devices which we are using, especially to talk about the electronic system or the digital system or the computer, whatever. Then there are four basic kinds of devices which we are always using. That means what? The first one is about the memory, the second one is microprocessor, third one is logic devices, and then the fourth one is about the networks. That means the memory is what? The memory is the storage area of some data, storage area of the data. When we are executing, processing some data, it will be what? Stored or saved on somewhere. And then the microprocessors are what? The instructors which are telling and then ordering the devices what to do. And then the logic is about the communication or the device to device communications, how the devices are to be communicated, and then especially the linkage which the device has. And then lastly, the network. The network is actually came from two words, net and then work. Net means what? Which is connected or complex connection of something, and then work is some implementation. So if the devices or something creates net, and then they can work with one another. That's why it is called as a network. So network is what? The interconnection of different located computers to share data and then to share resources. So the memory is what used to store some random data, and then microprocessors executes different instructions, because the different instruction can come from different angles of the or parts of the computer, and then this type of device is used to implement or execute this type of instruction. Then the third one is about the logic devices. These logic devices specially provide specific functions like device-to-device interface or communication, data communication, signal processing, data display, timing, and control operations, and then everything will be done. Lastly, we talk about the network. Actually, is a collection of computers, servers, mainframes, network devices, peripherals, and other devices to be connected for what purpose? For data sharing purposes. Okay, fine. Other point is the last point of our chapter or this concept is about the human-machine interaction or human-computer interaction. Actually, this human-machine interaction is a basic core point, because when we are talking, when we are using nowadays technology or implementing the technology, we are using a computer, then we are what? Directly relationship or interact with the computers. So especially when we are interacting with the computer, it is the way of studying how we or the user of the computer interact with the computers, and then to what extent the computers are or not developed for the successful interaction with the human beings. Because when we are using, in what extent they are helping us, or in what extent they are limited not to help us. Actually, when we are talking about the human computer interaction or HCI, it contains about the three parties or elements. Especially, there should be a user or a user of that computer, a person. There should be a computer itself or the machine, and then there is what? The way they work together. That means the way the human use the computer or interact with the computer will be the concept of this human computer. Okay, actually, when we are saying about human computer interaction, we are expected to understand about the human computer interactions use or the way we are interacting with the computer. That means what? We are always using with the help of graphical user interface. This graphical user interface is what? The mediator that interact in between the computer and then the human eyes. So we are interacting with the computer by the use of GUI or graphical user interfaces. Especially the goal of this human-computer interaction is to improve the interaction between users and then computers. How? By making making the computers more user-friendly and then receptive to the user's needs, because this graphical user interface is making smooth communication and then understanding between the user and the computer, because what the computer show for us will be seen to our eyes via this graphical user interfaces. So this use of this computer is especially used for us as it should be a user friend and then receptive to users need, because when we are expecting some result, something from the computer, then we will see through this graphical user interface. Okay, the last point is about the advantage or the benefits of this human computer interaction or human machine interaction, because when we are using computer, what benefits we are getting or what is the importance of this computer. The first one is about the simplicity. It simplifies our work. And then ease development of deployment and then operation, because when we are performing the computer, we can easily deploy and then we can easily operate, and then the operation of this computer will be given as a different feedback and then results. And the other one is saving the cost, especially for some smaller setups. And then the other one is the reduction or reduce the solution design time, because when we want to design something, instead of using by hand or writing something or designing something, then where it is better to use the computer. And then when we are ordering, giving some commands, and then it reduces what? The design time. That means minimizing the time, and then also minimize the interaction complexity, because sometimes we are using some complex things, but as much as possible the computer is what? Trying to interact or minimize the interaction complexity of the user. Okay, then we can summarize or conclude our courses on especially these disciplines contributing to human-computer interaction. That means what? There are different areas or fields which have some contribution on human-computer interactions. When we are talking about human-computer interaction, we are talking about the importance of some fields or disciplines. The first one is about the cognitive psychology. The second one is about the computer science. Third one is about the linguistic. Then the engineering and design, artificial intelligence, human factors, and so on. Because the combination of these and then other disciplines or areas or departments are what? Creating what? Creating human computer interaction. So the human computer interaction is a sum up of these all fields. Without these fields, we cannot say that this is human interaction or this is like that. That is why. Oh wow, this is the end of the course which I have prepared for you guys. And then if you have a comment, idea, and suggestion, you can give me the comment on the bottom of this course. And then next time I will prepare some questions from these chapters and then provide for you. And they will discuss. Then thank you for watching. Bye bye.